and we will collect 400,000 pounds and we will feed hungry in Toronto. We will lead by example. We are not here to protest. We are here to end poverty. We are here to stop the abuse of the poor. No. When I'm finished speaking, I will accept money if you like, but we will not put a price on hunger. So I would not be justified to accept money to speak on the needs of my neighbor. That would make me a sellout. 2 weeks ago, I was a homeless man. Today, I am the leader of the people. The People's Political Party of Ontario. And I open up the leadership to everyone who's here today. I am asking you to march on 40 Bay Street, the Air Canada Centre, to bring the kids an opportunity to get involved in sports and to enjoy a hockey game. Monday morning at 8 a.m. I'm asking you to march down Bay Street. Don't march up Bay Street. March down Bay Street. And when the thousands of people come forward, they will know you own Bay Street. I hope we can feed the hungry. I hope we can have a proper education system. I hope the government, Dalton McKenzie, Tim Hudak, Andrea Orvac, the people are not asking. We're telling you, bail out the people, not the corporations. Let's not make it about money. Let's make it about feeding the hungry. They want to know why we're here today. We're here today because the Daily Bread Food Bank, due to the provincial election, is short 400 million pounds of food. We're here today because we are not assured that children will be fed over the holidays because Rob Ford has cut the Christmas fund. We are here today to collect toys for the children who will be out. We're here to collect food for the hungry. And we are here to tell Rob Ford, Rob, you will not cut $742 million from these people's services. We will expand the service all across the 6 municipalities and give everyone an opportunity. And we will occupy Bay Street until Rob Ford realizes that Toronto does not belong to Bay Street, does not belong to the corporation, it does not belong to the businessman. Toronto belongs to the people. And the people of Toronto, we are loving and we are going to have fun because the Lord has come. And you want to win this? Only one way to win this. You got to run the 100.
This is Todd from Mere Change.
Hey brother, how's it going?
Thanks. Here to give us a little update on day one of Occupy.
Yeah, sure. Well, what happened was I went down to King and Bay Street about 10:30, and everyone formed up, marched over here to St. Patrick's. I took some footage that you'll be seeing later on of the march to the park. And then at that point, I knew that the Canadian Peace Alliance was going to be coming down from Ryerson. So I went up to Dundas Square in Ryerson and followed those marches down. So basically, you've got a number of small groups coming down to St. Patrick's Park. They're working out their protest, they're pitching their tents, and we're going to see what happens from here.
Yeah, Canadian Peace Alliance is launching this Peace and Prosperity, Not War and Austerity campaign. I was down at the End War and Militarism Conference last night, and we heard from the Afghans for Peace and this United States Peace Alliance group called Peace Action. They're strategizing on how we can how we can create new alliances at this time right now. This time in history creates like it marks a pivotal time in history, creating a new opportunity for a new form of resistance to war and militarism.
Well, Surya Sahar was here leading some chants on the other side of the park earlier to get the troops out of Afghanistan. You've got a broad, diverse group of people here. You've got anti-militarization people that are against capitalism. You've got pro-Austrian economics people with the Ron Paul group.
Got the native Red Power movement right there.
That's right. And everyone's here. I think there's a General Assembly scheduled for 5 o'clock.
Excellent. Excellent. What do you think the turnout is like here?
It's great. The park's packed.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
And the question for you, my friend, is did you listen or did you just hear it? Can I maybe do one more quick time? Is that cool? Yeah? Okay. So here's another one. The world leaves me froze like the winter cold, a snow when it blows. No clothes like a centerfold. Let us go like envelopes. Let them know the schedule ahead of those with cheddar flows. Incredible, the better known for clever poems that never gloats. Already know the steady flow will make a heavy blow. Can't let the Yeti clones get in the zone, won't let it float. Many show that any O can let a semi blow. But envy don't tempt me though, I'll stay away from empty woes. Play by play we make a way unlike any known. Day by day we make a change, but we like many more. We'll lay awake and make the pain paint for better hope. The rain can't weather no, the same way the head of those play games but never roll. They make regrettable, take shape like revenue when the bank takes the debt of you, or the man rents you sendable, casting the end of you, drafting expendables, laughing they bend the rules. And the last thing we ever knew was the passion that we'll never use, cause a passive fool will never move in latitudes of actual. So factual, clever groove is the path that I choose. Straight at you, I blend the clues, and if we act, we'll never lose. The simple fact is never do whatever you choose, but if you clever when you move, then we'll better our roots. Stay ahead of the fools that take souls. Wake yours, make it better for you, and state goals. Take hold what you came here to do. I'm thankful. Stay close to the aim of your view. You can't go straying afar away from your heart, because standing in the light will make us play in the dark.
I'm here with fellow Weird Change reporter, The Ugly Truth, and I can't thank you enough for all the hard work that you've done in the last year. You've been at every single Egyptian, Libyan, Syrian, anti-war protest that we've had in the last year, and when I couldn't make it out, you were there. You got the footage. We were able to share and learn from it. So I mean, that took a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, and a lot of conversion uploading time. So I just want to say thanks a lot, man. What time did you get here?
I got down about noon, but I headed down to King and Bay because there was some people streaming on the internet when I left home.
Yeah.
There was a good crowd there, and at that time they were saying they were going to discuss where they were going to occupy.
Yeah.
So by the time I got there at noon, they weren't at King and Bay, but luckily I was able to find out that they were here at basically church King, between King and Queen, I guess.
I think they chose a really good location because this little park here has a history of sheltering homeless, I think. So the cops probably won't really take too much of an issue. Who knows though, right? You know, what are your thoughts on like the turnout and the diversity of organizations and diversity of messages that have come out here?
Well, it's good to see it, you know. I think like the G20 summit here last year, you know, there might be a variety of different issues that people care about or represent or are fighting for, but it's good to see the solidarity and unity. All these people realize, regardless of what their desires or needs are, we all face a common enemy. And basically, if we unite together, we can defeat that enemy.
At least we can create the political space, the space for people to have that discussion, come to a formal concession, and decide on a new tactic to create like a societal transformation. You know, this is different from the convention protest in that, you know, this will continue indefinitely. Just like down in New York, they've been there for almost a month, coming up to a month now. So, you know, just unprecedented, amazing.
It's good to see people waking up and realizing that the system is broken.
Yeah.
It needs to be overhauled.
Yeah. And the fact that they made it leaderless with the General Assembly, that anybody is entitled to speak and make proposals, allows for groups from other sides of the political spectrum to come together and have that form of, like, you know, democratic discussion. So where that leads, you know, there are a lot of possibilities of where that could lead in terms of like formation of some actually like a real parliamentary political party. I know that's been suggested in the Assembly, but we have to watch what's happening in New York and in the other cities and see how they're progressing as well. Because what we're learning with the social media and, you know, the streaming video is that, and the Twitter and email and everything, is that we're learning in real time what's happening on a global level. You know, New York and Boston have come under intense scrutiny for the police crackdown that's come upon them. And I learned that it's costing the New York Police Department over approaching $1.9 million in overtime. So the police really ought to be happy for that, right? And the more crackdown that happens, the more media attention it gets, the more it validates the legitimacy of the movement. And that's exactly what happened in Toronto too with the G20. So, you know, will we see that here in Toronto? There's been a lot of speculation about that. Hopefully not, though. I mean, like the way that we've kind of peacefully assembled here, it's going to ruffle some feathers for sure. But we have a history, and we're connected globally, so we understand what the risks are, and hopefully we can, you know, find out how we can work together with the system. I think that's what the Occupy movement is all about. Is, you know, we live here, we represent, you know, this place, and we're feeling a little politically disenfranchised by it. So we've reached the point of like no return almost, where we have to really address these issues. We can't walk away. Would you agree with that?
I do, and you know, today's a great start, but we'll see if we have the stamina that New York has shown us.
Yeah.
4 weeks strong now.
Yeah.
Especially with the Canadian winter coming, obviously it's not going to be pleasant for camping out, like just staying out all day long. That's going to be the true test, see how awake and angry Canadians are and demanding of change. We do come out to protest for very many events, but then it kind of seems like once the protest is done, a lot of people feel, okay, I've done my part, but nothing really changes. Yeah. So we have to stick it out for the long haul. Yeah. We can organize. This is a good start, but we have to keep planning, being creative, and get the message out worldwide.
Yeah. That's the role of the media right there, is to cover these events and to kind of contextualize it and highlight the significance of the message. So, we need continuous mainstream media coverage to reach a wider audience, but we need the citizen media on the ground talking to people to really draw out what the issues are, because the media really wants to make just a divisive either or issue, so it's certainly not one or the other.
That's definitely why I've been covering all these events, as you said, and you're very welcome. The thanks is appreciated, but I don't do it for rewards. I do it because
it's the right thing to do.
I just had an awakening and realized we have to change things.
How much do you expect to be able to cover this thing here? Between you, myself, and Todd, we might be able to each cover 1 day of the week or something like that.
With having a full-time job, it's going to be a challenge. But, I did book the Monday off, so I'm hoping to be out again tomorrow and then on Monday to see what happens and what I can capture, and then we'll see from there. Hopefully the numbers will keep growing like in New York, and it'll be ongoing. If that's the case, it might be a weekend thing for me to cover. If it ends, of course, well, then it ends. But time will tell there.
I don't think this one's going to end. Even if we don't have the numbers that we have today, the discussion is definitely happening. The people who aren't necessarily here in person are certainly, there's a larger contingent online, in surrounding cities that are watching and looking for the example to be set so that we can see new Occupy movements spreading. And I think that's the pattern that you and I have seen in the last year, starting with the G20, progressing through to the civil liberties movement, pushing for the inquiry, to the breakout of the Arab Spring, continue all the way through the summer to these new occupation events. We've also got a bunch of events of war conferences that are happening simultaneously. There's an organization called the Canadian Peace Alliance down at the Ryerson, right? The week after that, Ryerson's going to be hosting another one. So we've got enough events lined up for the entire month, and we won't even be able to cover all of it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing your coverage, and it's just great to work with you, Paul.
It's been a pleasure, and I think you're right. I think this is going to continue because the sad reality is worldwide we have a global economic crisis going on, and people are being taxed and austerity measures, having their services cut, their wages cut, but then they have to pay more into a system that's ripping them off. I don't see that changing anytime soon. In fact, it's just going to get worse as inflation, prices rise, food, gas, and more people lose their work as jobs are shipped overseas. So there's going to be suffering there, but there is hope at the end of the tunnel if people wake up and unite together to make a new system.
I think that hope would be if we unite around cutting the military budget, moving away from a war economy that has been steadily becoming the norm over the last 10 years. We can use this moment to really hammer in that one issue, that is militarism, that is bankrupting our country, destroying the environment, and creating a world of hostility and grief and increased terrorism overseas and potentially here in North America. We really need to send out that message that we're standing here in Toronto, we're standing for peace. People down in Egypt, Iraq, Afghanistan, they're doing the same thing. So if people can see that the citizens of each country are actually standing for democracy and peace, there is no justification for militarism.
Well, they use divide and conquer to keep us divided and fighting each other. And you see, there's a lot of different groups here representing different issues and having different demands. But at the end of the day, we all are human beings and do the same thing. So
we got to get politically educated and become leaders in our communities. And
understand Egypt's struggle, Afghanistan's struggle, everybody's struggle is our struggle.
entire city with people living in the most densest population right now, and they don't care. And there's a really big problem with that. Why don't we care? Nobody cares. Why don't we care? One of the quote I wanted to say was the most potent weapon in the mind, or in the hands of the oppressor, is the mind of the oppressed. And I just want to say that they don't have control of that. Not in this park right now. And we're the lions. We are the lions, and we have a lot of sheep to make lions right now. And it's your responsibility to do that. So every one of you has to look around and change the world, change your community, slowly, step by step. We can bring everyone to the park next year, or tomorrow, or this whole entire week, whatever. But we will make a difference within our community, and if everybody did that, it would just work. That's it, it would just work. And vote with your money. The most important thing I would say is vote with your money. Those corporations don't exist without us. We don't have to be necessarily buying shares to be shareholders. We are the shareholders. We spend their money. We make them rich, and we don't have to do that. We don't have to buy expensive shoes from Nike. We don't have to go out and spend $100 on a sweater from a company that paid a kid 5 cents to make it. It's not necessary. We don't have to do that. So everybody just remember that. You can vote with your money. Don't buy McDonald's. Don't drink Pepsi. Don't drink Coca-Cola. It's very simple. Water is free. Water is free, and you can drink it, and it's better for you. Anyway, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Hi guys, I have a little something to say about the water, although it is free, but we are in North America still drinking water with fluoride in it, and we actually don't need fluoride in our water, and it's not good for us, it's not healthy, and I don't know if anyone knows this is not a popular fact, but Hitler actually used water in the wars camps to keep the prisoners calm and to keep them sedated. So, what's the longest running Canadian joke? There's something in the water. Well, it's fucking true. It's fluoride. So, distilled water is really, really good for us. We can drink distilled water. Don't buy loose bottled waters. That's not the solution, because then you're just contributing to more. We're being told in North America that in order to work our way out of this current depression, I don't care what anyone else calls it, it's a depression, that we're supposed to buy our way out of this economy. Well, we're consuming at the rate of 7 Earths. So we definitely have to think locally and act locally. Globally and act locally. That's the most important thing, because it's going to spread. It's going to spread. Anything that you do, and everyone, this is a level playing field. This is the most beautiful part about it. 99% versus 1%. Haves versus have-nots. Great. Fine. By the same token, this is the year that we have to change it all. So whatever your dream is, how hard is it to get a website and start making something that you care about, that you know other people are going to care about because they're like-minded? So we are the consumer, so we get to choose what we're going to consume. So make your own company, do your own online business for $30 a month. Who the hell is just stay at home? Don't pay the gas. Do your own company, pay for shipping. Let's get the mail back in. Anyway, I got a song to sing to you about the water that I wrote in January. Apparently I went crazy in January. They sent me to CAMH. They told me I had bipolar because I was really fucking stressed out about the environment. So much so that I couldn't think about anything else, and I started to write. And they told me I was bipolar and I had manic depressive. So that's pretty interesting, because I think that the world is dying, but I'm mentally ill? Huh. That's pretty interesting. And so I'm taking the pill. So this song is about the water. Hopefully my voice doesn't waver too much. The water's sour, not a drop to drink. The water's sour. You better stop and think about the big fish. Big fish in a small pond. The big fish command you to come along, on and on. Yeah, but out today with an empty air. Oh, today and barely up there. Move on forward, there's no rewinding. Share your truth, let you wind up dying. Share your truth, there's no sense in lying. Your bottom here, just trying to pay her dues. Swimming feet will eat up yourself to breathe the news. Yes, it moves out and on. So hard to take, sitting living up on promises that were made. The lines are blank, but the mission is clear. The lines are blank. Mother Nature to fear. Oh, time will pass and you will be disguised. Stagnant, faithful, dearly departed. Pumping promises shall be our dreams, polluted, diluted, from the seams. Thank you! Thank you very much.
I quit my job where I was the operations manager of a mill workshop. It was a good job. I moved out of my apartment in the middle of the night. I've given away all of my possessions. I invite everyone to become fully committed and fully invested in occupying and staying the course until we get what we want. And please, we will always be clear that we are staying committed to peaceful, non-violent resistance. Yeah!